Yesterday evening, my husband decided to play a prank on me. He had noticed that our guinea pig, Fluff, was happily munching on alfalfa, and it gave him an idea. He took a few of Fluff's pellets, the guinea pig droppings, and thinking it was harmless since they only eat alfalfa, mixed them into a bowl of chocolates. He figured that if anyone could tell something was off, it would be me. Later, when we were sitting together, I reached for the bowl of chocolates without any suspicion. I popped a piece in my mouth, chewed, and immediately noticed something strange. The taste was off. I looked at him, and he pretended to be innocent, asking if something was wrong. It didn't take long for me to realize that something wasn't right, and that's when he finally confessed with a laugh. He told me it was just guinea pig poop, but since it was made of alfalfa, it was completely safe, and that he mixed in not only week-old poop, but fresh poop as well. I deep cleaned the cage once a week. I was disgusted, but mostly I couldn't believe he'd actually gone through with it. I blew up and kicked him out of the house because that is utterly disgusting. I was sick most of the night, and my stomach has been the same since. He and his family are mad at me for blowing things out of proportions. Should I be this upset over a prank? Edit, I am meeting him in an hour to talk about things and get more clarity. I will keep you guys updated. For those asking, he's 46 and I am 35. We met 7 years ago and have been married 6 years. Edit, he came home to talk and gather some things because I am not sure if I want him to come back. So here is the update. He's admitted that this isn't the first time he's tampered with my food. I eat a salad every day for lunch, and he admitted that he put grass in my salad once and told me by saying, "You are overreacting to this entire situation. I fed your grass once and you never noticed." I thought it would be funny. My reply was grass. I eat micro salads, so everything is chopped really fine. Him, yeah, one time I put grass in your salad to see if you'd notice, and you didn't. Did he think I wouldn't notice the poop as well? Long story short, he laughed about it again. No apology. I asked him for a divorce, and he started throwing things around the house. Thankfully, I recorded the entire conversation. I live in a state that you can record without someone knowing, and kept the bowl of poop. I'll keep you updated as this goes on. Final update, hopefully I'm meeting with a lawyer tomorrow. I demanded a divorce, and he said, "Okay, we will see how this plays out. You know about the poop. Too bad you won't know anything else." I saw a doctor this afternoon, and he said that it's definitely dangerous and I should watch for any weird symptoms for the next couple of weeks. What's scary about this is I've been diagnosed with digestive issues since marrying him. About a year after we got married, I started having horrible stomach pains and was later diagnosed with GERD and IBS. I'm starting to wonder if he's been feeding me stuff since. I guess I'll see after this divorce if these issues go away. For those of you who think this is fake, I pray that no one feeds you literal feces one day, and in a way to vent you tell it to people who don't believe you. My ex-27M and I, 26F, split 2 years ago. We met through my best friend, who worked in the same theater as him then, and the reason we broke up was because he didn't think we were working anymore. It was pretty amicable. I didn't put up a fight or anything, but I strongly believed there was no reason for us to be friends anymore. That always causes problems. But I'm still friendly with his friends, and I make small chat if I run into his parents. We live a pretty close-knit environment. Don't ask me how. We live in a city, but most of my friends and his come from either the same uni or have a common hobby, or we roam around the same circles, and we definitely see each other once or twice every couple of months. My ex has a fiancée now, and I am happy for them. I have never met her. Until now, I thought this didn't matter or anything. We are all adults, or so I think. One of his closest friends, Peter, just bought a house. I am friends with his girlfriend, and we are both invited to the housewarming. I didn't think any of it, however. My ex texted me yesterday, after like a year, albeit very politely, that maybe I could skip the housewarming as he was bringing his fiancée, and she will feel uncomfortable. I was pretty weirded out by his wording, so I called him. He said his fiancée feels uncomfortable that I would be anywhere close to him, and the fact that they both feel like I sometimes intrude into their social gatherings, just to prove I'm better than her to his friends. I got pretty mad hearing him say these things, and I asked him in what way. We are not friends, and I stopped hanging out with his friends the moment we broke up to not make things difficult for him. There were a lot of people in his circle I became close to, but I stepped away just so that things weren't awkward for any future partner. And how was it my fault? My ex explained 2 of his friends didn't like or respect his girlfriend and thought her an airhead, and so did his parents. Our circles are, I admit, full of literature and theater people, and I admit some of them can be pretentious. Again, I told him that was him being a spineless boyfriend and not my problem. I told my ex strongly that both Peter and his girlfriend are my friends, and I would be going to their housewarming, and his relationship issues are not my problem. I have blocked him now, and his fiancée sent a long text on how she was sorry. But now I was apparently being vindictive, and how did it matter if I didn't go to a housewarming? She asked me to not make any drama and please respect her. I didn't reply and blocked her. My friends are pissed at my ex, and I haven't told my friend or Peter any of it yet. I think maybe I could have handled it any other way. My boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years. His family is very big on hosting and throwing celebrations, whereas my family tends to only do large holidays together, which will be mostly centered around food as opposed to gifts. In the past year or so, I've been invited to his sister 28F's birthday, his sister's baby shower, his mum's 60-something F's birthday, his sister's kid's birthday 2F, his sister's housewarming, his family's Christmas, and a couple other miscellaneous celebrations. Every time I bring a gift, it's to the point where I've been spending more money on gifts for his family than my own parents and siblings. However, I've never gotten a gift from his family. It's not really their fault intentional, as we will tend to do our own celebration for my birthday, so there's not really been an opportunity for his family to give me gifts other than Christmas. But the one-sided gift giving is starting to get to me. I've considered that maybe there isn't an expectation for me to bring a gift, but for most of these celebrations, I'm invited to. It would be very odd not to bring one, e.g., baby shower, birthdays. I've considered doing joint gifts with my boyfriend, but his mom also pointedly asked one time, "Is that the one from my name?" without me mentioning that I had even brought a gift, which made it seem like it was a given that I should have brought one. To be clear, I don't need any gifts from anyone in his family. I work a decently paying job despite being in a HCOL city, and my boyfriend and I are both more financially comfortable for our age than his family. However, the sheer number of celebrations I'm being invited to with an unspoken obligation for gifts is starting to build up, especially because it feels a little like the relationship is one-sided, as I've never received anything in return. With Christmas coming up, I wonder if I should continue bringing gifts, or use this as an opportunity to work with my boyfriend and change our operating model. Or do I just bring something that's cheaper, like some baked goods chocolates? TLDR, I have gifted my boyfriend's family, his sister, his mum, his sister's kid gifts on 10 occasions this year, but haven't received anything in return. With Christmas coming up, do I use this as an opportunity to discuss with my boyfriend about how this is unsustainable? Or do I just tone down the spending on my side? Let me explain. I've had some bad luck with ex-boyfriends and gifts. I'm a thoughtful gift giver in general. Even if it's Secret Santa, I'm getting something that anyone can make use of. No random junk from the checkout, line shelves, or gift sets that'll collect dust 9 times out of 10. Anyways, my new boyfriend together since September is a great guy so far. I'm really happy, and I'm excited. This is our first Christmas. We both have big families, so we're doing our private Christmas today instead, especially since he's a big Christmas person like me. So he says, but history has jaded me, although I want to believe he has good gifting skills. So he says, I came up with a plan. Under my tree has 2 gifts for him. One that's low effort, but he'll like. One that's tougher to come by, and he'll love. So I'm going to open my gifts first, and based on what I see and the effort, I'll decide, in that moment, which package I'm grabbing when it's his turn. Everything I got is in the return window limit, LOL. I want to be clear. This is not about how much money is spent. It's about if he really thinks, pays attention, and takes the time, consider what he's picking. I've spent hours thinking and planning gifts, collecting items if I need to, etc., only to be given a gift card to the mall I work in. Or a necklace and earrings from a chain jewelry store, think K or People's, 3 years in a row. Or nothing, because they didn't have time, or some nonsense, but they'll make it up to me later. This is different, men, but this is a pattern, and I've seen on socials that I'm not the only person who's been a victim of men giving thoughtless presents. I know women can be selfish and shit givers as well, but I'm straight, so I'm speaking about my experience with men. All right? And it seems like men tend to be worse at it from what I've heard from other women. Today, we'll determine how I give to him going forward. Birthdays, anniversaries, and so on. I really hope he does well. I really do enjoy giving gifts and making PPL happy with them. But self-sacrifice is no longer something I'm willing to do, especially not during my favorite holiday. This is silly, I'm aware, but wish him luck, and may the odds be ever in his favor. Because I'd love to give him both gifts if I'm being completely honest, but that's big wishful thinking on my part. Merry December 26th, y'all. My ex-wife and I were married for over 20 years and have 2 children together. For most of my marriage, things were pretty balanced. We both shared housework and childcare responsibilities. We were each stay-at-home parents for over a year after each child, her with our son and me with our son and daughter. We always had agreements on how we wanted to divide work and generally had decent communication. This changed when my oldest went to high school. My wife got a new job that was both very demanding on her time and was 50% travel. This meant that I had to handle everything about 2 weeks per month. And when she was home, she wasn't holding up her side of the work with agreements. I did my best to be accommodating, and we worked through redistributing chores housework a few times to make it fit her schedule better, but a lot of the work just kept falling to me. When the pandemic happened, things got worse, but I tried to just suck it up because I knew the lockdowns were temporary. Finally, when things opened back up, things continued to decline, and I asked to go to counseling. She missed a lot of our meetings and just didn't commit to it. At this point, I decided that I wanted a divorce. Unfortunately, it was a really tough time for the family. My son was getting ready for college in person, after his freshman year being remote, which was both financial and logistical challenge. At the same time, my daughter was also having some issues with depression, and I had become her main support person with my wife gone half the time. I made a decision to wait until my daughter was in a better mental state and our family was in a financially stable place before I filed for divorce. I did my best to continue to contribute and was essentially a single parent for 3 years. On a few occasions, I brought up counseling again, but my wife said things were good and wouldn't go. We pretty much didn't make love for that period of time, and there was one summer where she essentially moved to North Carolina for 6 weeks for work. She came home on some weekends. Last year, after my daughter started sophomore year of college and she was in a better place, mentally and emotionally, I sold off some of my stock investments to create a trust for my kids to ensure college was covered. Then I filed for divorce. At first, my wife was really pissed. Then she left to live in North Carolina again. When she came back 4 weeks later, she said she wanted to work through it. But I told her I had made the decision to leave years ago and wasn't interested. We eventually worked through mediation and got an amicable divorce. My kids live with me now and support me, but all of my in-laws and even most of my family outside of my sister think I'm asshole. They believe I should have forced the issue more when we started counseling and either divorced or made it clearer to my wife how important counseling was to me. They've called me selfish, and some of my in-laws are refusing to interact with my kids when they're at my house, for example. My daughter FaceTimed her grandmother once this summer, and she hung up once she saw that my daughter was at my house. They also created a bit of a scene at my son's graduation in the spring, refusing to acknowledging me and demanding that my son choose to celebrate with them or me, rather than having dinner together as a group. I encouraged my son to go with them, and we had our own celebration later. But something happened at the dinner, and my son has lived with me and been almost no contact with them since. I honestly feel like I did what was best for my kids, but it feels like their mum's family is punishing them, and I feel like a terrible father. I admit that it might have been more mature to address the issue head-on with my relationship with my ex, but I felt that it was about more than just the two of us. Frankly, I feel like my lack of backbone years ago has made this divorce worse for my kids. But I also believe that if I had to do it again, I would still prioritize my kids over my own feelings and make the same choice.